Well, this is the most difficult budget that Texas has ever faced. By the comptroller's own numbers, we're facing about a $27 billion shortfall. The interesting thing is that as we estimate, only about $4 billion of that is due to the economic recession. About $23 billion of it is due to the taxing structure that we have in Texas.
Wow.
Much of it put in place in 2006, mostly at the adherence of the governor, who created the new franchise tax or margins tax, created a cigarette tax, and fundamentally shifted the way that we finance our schools. And so that accounts for the lion's share of the budget shortfall that we have. But $27 billion is a very daunting number, and so a shortfall like that, if you try to close it the way that Governor Perry wants to, which is without raising any new revenue, in other words, not only not raising taxes, which we expected from him, but also not raising any kind of fees, which is how we closed the shortfall in 2003, not closing any kind of tax loopholes or tax exemptions, and not doing anything new like any kind of light gambling, video lottery terminals at horse racetracks, things like that. He doesn't want to raise any new revenue, and right now it doesn't look like he wants to use the rainy day fund, which is about $9.4 billion. If that's the case, then we're really going to see real devastation in public education, in higher education, health and human services, all of these things that I really see as pathways to the American dream. You think about how we tell our students when they're very young that they should dream about whatever it is they want to do, whether it's a doctor, a lawyer, whatever it is. Well, the way they get there is through a strong public school system, a strong higher ed system, making sure that they have a doctor to see when they're sick. Same thing with our senior citizens. And so we're facing a very devastating situation.
And so when you say cuts to public education, what does that mean specifically? Again, is it what line items, or is it going to be instruction? Is it going to be construction? What is going to get cut?
I think that all of it would be on the table.
Okay.
We see some districts announcing layoffs for teachers, for example. Other districts looking at closing down schools. And so I think fast-growing districts like Northside, which is in San Antonio, which is the fourth largest district in the state, not being able to accommodate all of the new students coming into their schools. In other words, not being able to build schools fast enough, especially because of this shortfall now. So all of these things, all of the areas of education could be affected. In higher education, I think what's going to happen is it's going to cause probably a few things. First, less money for financial aid, and also the universities, because they'll be getting less state money, are going to have to raise tuition a lot more than all of us would have hoped.
So you're saying specifically education is like a big one. And when you say seniors, what specific programs or what specific programming are you talking about?
Well, with senior citizens, any state to help for nursing homes, for example, for our hospitals, our state hospitals, even counties and localities or municipalities are feeling the pinch right now. So we've got a lot of senior citizens who have no health insurance coverage, for example. So anytime you have a county hospital that's starved for money and starved for resources, that affects them. Reimbursement rates on Medicare, for example, and Medicaid, all of these things I think could hurt the most vulnerable in our society.
Wasn't Joe Strauss supposed to start gambling or something? Wasn't that the cheeseman? Wasn't that going to happen?
There was a talk when he became speaker, I guess, because his family has run Rotama Race Park for quite a while, that he might usher in this new era of gambling. It hasn't happened so far, and I don't know that it'll happen this session, particularly if the governor has threatened to veto any kind of legislation that would involve gambling. And look, the fact is that on the left and the right, there are a lot of folks who have a real heartburn about opening up gambling in Texas.